We are live. Good evening, everybody. Happy new month. It's November 1st. Insane. 2022 is done as far as I'm concerned. Like, it's November 1st. I'm so excited about this evening session. I know, like, you guys make fun of me because you think I'm excited about every single session, but it's true. It's because like I find like some of the most interesting people are willing to talk to me and I'm genuinely interested in everybody's different functional areas, how they got into it. And my hope is that you would also learn something from their journeys and what they are doing that would be of interest to you. And I really want to encourage you to explore these postgraduate opportunities and apply. Step one is apply. You can't get selected for something you don't apply for. I know it sounds insane to like say that out loud, but guys, the fear of whether or not you should apply, I want to encourage you to get over it. It's why I want you to hear from everybody here so that they can encourage you based on their journeys and what they've seen as to why you should just apply. I think I'm going to make a shirt. Um, but I'm so excited. We have Esther, Anish, and Lauren. Esther and Lauren are both executive residents, and Esther is our executive fellow. I've been mixing that up this whole time. Shocker that I did it again. Esther is the executive fellow at the APhA Foundation. And then we have Anish and Lauren that are executive residents. I want them to tell you all about what they're doing. They're so unique, and I'm so excited to hear from each of them. I would like to start with you, Lauren. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and where you are.
So, hello everyone. My name is Lauren Howell, and I graduated in May from the University of South Carolina College of Pharmacy, and then decided to apply for residency at APHA and moved to DC for that opportunity. So, I am the resident in the publishing department, which is definitely way different than where I thought I would be, but I love it so far.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Esther?
All right, so my name is Esther Bodie. I graduated from Lipscomb University College of Pharmacy in Nashville, Tennessee. And then, just like Lauren, I moved to DC I moved early June. That's when my lease started. And I'm currently the Executive Fellow in Association Management and Leadership with the APHA Foundation. And I love it too. So, it's been a journey, but I love it.
Yeah, thank you, Esther. And then Anish, please introduce yourself.
Sure. Yeah. My name is Anish Ashokan. I graduated from Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, with my PharmD and my MBA. And I started my position as the executive resident at the Board of Pharmacy Specialties, or BPS. And yeah, it's been a wonderful opportunity. A lot of great people to meet out here, not just within APHA, but also like in the DMV. And not gonna lie, I'm feeling quite alive. So that's great.
Oh, listen, Anish, I think we've already gained you. You're already saying the DMV. Like, that's local terminology and lingo. I think there could be a place for you here, sir. Thank
Oh,
you.
thanks.
Thank you all for doing this. Um, and I know Esther, I think I said a little bit to you already when we spoke via message today. As a past foundation scholarship recipient, it's one of those places that I'm curious about. What is it that your position is? What do you do? And I'll save my other because I have like a whole series of questions, and I'd just love to hear about. I think the foundation is like one of my favorite arms of APHA and what it does, and all of the amazing scholarship programs it has. It's the only section I'm familiar with. So please tell us a little bit about your role as a fellow with the foundation.
So, my role with the foundation is mostly to kind of lead and implement the annual programs that we hold. So, they're the Pinnacle Awards that just happened actually a few weeks ago. And then, as well as incentive grants and then as well as student scholarships. So those are like the three primary programs that I'm in charge of kind of leading and implementing. And so I work with the foundation team. It's not a solo job, but I have wonderful leaders that kind of help me and kind of guide me through all of the procedures for running these programs. And I'm like in charge of just going out there and talking to several different people, stakeholders, applicants, nominees, and kind of getting everything together so that we can run successful programs. So that's pretty much my duty. And it's been an amazing like journey for me, especially since a couple weeks ago we had fall events. And so that's when we kind of had a lot of these programs that were showcased, such as the Pinnacle Awards. And it was just amazing to kind of meet different people that I've been talking to over the internet, over email for a while now, and just kind of make those connections and network with people. So that's primarily my duty. I also work as a liaison with the Women in Pharmacy Committee. And so I also helped out with planning the next 10 recognition that we had a few weeks back as well during fall events weekend. So that was also been an amazing opportunity just to meet wonderful, impactful women pharmacists who have made a difference in our profession. So,
Yeah.
yes.
I love it. Thank you for all you do. I really, really, really am excited that that position is there. It's thriving. Thank you for all you do. Same question for you, Lauren. Your functional area, I publishing. Okay, sure. I know what publishing is, but like, what is that position? What do you do? How do you work, collaborate, if at all, with other functional areas in your duties as the resident for publishing?
Yeah, so I think when I started the residency, I probably had the same thought. I was like, I signed up for this, I got it. I have no idea what it means. um, but so the APHA publishing team puts out the Student Pharmacist magazine, Transitions magazine for new practitioners, and then Pharmacy Today that goes out to all of the APHA members. And then we also do the Journal of the American Pharmacist Association and Journal of Pharmaceutical Sciences. And then that's all on the periodical side. And then on the book side, we're always publishing new textbooks and other resources for pharmacists and pharmacy technicians. So a lot of the people on the publishing team are writers or have a background in publishing, but they don't have very many people that have a background in pharmacy itself.
Gotcha.
So it's a lot of, I am doing a little bit of writing, but it's more so reading book proposals and figuring out if there's a place for them on the market, if pharmacists would think that they'd be useful, and helping come up with content for the magazines.
That's so cool. That should be named something else. Honestly, there is a lot that's just so cool, and reading book proposals sounds so fancy. We need to start a petition. We want that to be called something else. That's really cool. Thank you for all you do. Anish, please tell us at the Board of Specialties, what is it in your capacity? How do you work in collaborations and initiatives? We'd love to hear all about it.
Sure, yeah. So much like Lauren, I wasn't really sure what I was signing up for. Like I'd heard about
I
uh,
just had this, I love,
BPS,
yeah.
but it's much more vague than what I had expected. But then once I started there, I realized it was basically just a credentialing organization. The way Board of Pharmacy Specialties is set up is that it is an autonomous division of APHA. So we work separately from APHA, and we try to give pharmacists a voice in the room, basically giving them that board certification to become a credentialed voice, a credentialed healthcare personnel. And so all that stuff really resonated with me. And me personally, I work with the professional affairs, communications, and engagements team, or PACE. And we try to interface with folks from people such as psychometrics, like exam designing, and specialty counsels, such as pharmacists that are in the field that we are trying to kind of administer exams for. And so just a lot of communicating and talking to different people and trying to see what the people need and trying
Yeah.
to adjust things as we go. So it's a really cool experience so far. Very happy that I've kind of gotten my feet wet in this area.
Awesome. Okay, these all just sound like really cool jobs to have.
Mhm.
Um, Some of the other questions, like I've asked many of your co-residents or others involved with the residency, and Esther being our only fellow, I'm always curious about how people decide to take the step towards something. So I'll start with you, Anish. Like, how did you decide that um, organizational management or a residency in a professional organization was going to be a fit for you? What were some of those things that kind of were like light bulb moment for you? Like, I could totally do that.
Yeah, I think that answer it's twofold. I think for me. So first one is when I started pharmacy school, I quickly learned the fact that there was another arena of pharmacy out there. Right, it wasn't just a clinically focused or a community focused care. There's something else out there. I just couldn't figure out what it was, whether it was pharma or maybe there's something else. And the other thing that helped me kind of make my decision was I completed a rotation out here at the Pharmacy Quality Alliance in Alexandria, and from there, I got to meet some of the people that were fellows last year. And so that plus my intention to go to a non-traditional route really pushed me to do at least apply for the residency program here. So that's kind of how I kind of ended up here.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Same question for you, Lauren.
So I think when I started pharmacy school, I was a little bit naive because I was more interested in like what you had to learn to be a pharmacist and learning about disease states and stuff than I was in the actual day-to-day job of a pharmacist. So whenever I started doing rotations, I was like, this is all really cool, but it's not where I see myself every day for the rest of my life. And I still have all of those passions for pharmacists in general. I love how accessible they are, but I just didn't want to be the one actually providing the care. So I started, my school offered a dual degree with a master's in health administration. So I decided to pursue that. I still have it. I finished that this coming May. So I'm still working on that. But I think throughout that, I kind of realized that the administrative side of things was a better fit for me instead of delivering patient care, helping other people have the resources they need to deliver excellent patient care. And so then that led me to look at other opportunities and I found APHA.
Yeah, I think that that's so important. What Lauren's saying, if you're a first year, second year, actually, it doesn't even matter where you are in your pharmacy journey right now. Please understand that everything's not for everybody. It's very possible that your pharmacy degree, you joined the fight in a different way. It all ultimately translates into the same thing. Anisha's at the board of specialty, helping pharmacists to have that ambition become credentialed so that we are at those tables and elevating those conversations in the quality of patient care that's provided. Lauren, and what you're saying, like, I just think that that's so profound. Like, the fact that you had that self awareness to realize early, like, I have those talents, I have that desire, but I feel like I could serve the profession better in something else. And then the courage to pursue that. I think that's so awesome. I think that's so awesome. Esther, same question for you.
All right. So, like my fellow residents, I kind of knew that the non traditional route was more so the way I wanted to go as well, but it kind of got solidified for me during my fourth year. I had an APPE rotation and we had a meeting one morning. And during that meeting, I asked a question to some of the pharmacy leaders. I pretty much asked, do we think that pharmacists were recognized during the pandemic as much as I felt as if we should have been? Because during the pandemic, I felt like for the most part, doctors and nurses were really kind of like applauded, but pharmacists were kind of like left in like, the back burner. But she pretty much, the way she spoke about the situation, the natural personality type of a pharmacist versus how we have to speak up and advocate for ourselves, it kind of spoke to me. So that from that moment moving on, I decided that I think something in leadership would be best for me because I wanted to refine my skills so that I could be a good leader in pharmacy. So that's when I started looking for opportunities in management and leadership. And then the fellowship kind of landed in my inbox, like I would say 2 weeks later. So that's when I decided that I really wanted to apply and kind of go for that opportunity. So it was the only fellowship or residency I applied for.
Oh my God. You're like the 1%. You're the 1% where like it's gonna be this and you go for it and it was that.
Yeah,
That's amazing. That's like literally unheard of. I love that you put that out there. Like for the other person who feels like if I don't apply to 30 programs, I haven't tried. It's
right.
a myth. It's a myth. You can find that one thing that you pursue and it would legit work. I think that that's so profound. And that question about pharmacists and recognition during the pandemic, we could literally go on for hours about this. So I won't bore you guys with the entire perspective. We're here to learn from you guys today. But I think that that's such an amazing question to ask, very thought provoking too, because I'm sure you could ask 10 different pharmacists and our personality. One of my college professors, pharmacy school professors, would say pharmacists are really good at keeping quiet about what they do. And I never forgot that. I was like, he's not lying. Because to us, like, we just want to serve, we just want to
Mhm.
be there. We don't think that there's any value in showcasing that and promoting that and talking about that on big platforms. It's like a thing we all share to a certain degree. I can't wait to see all of the things you will do to teach us how to change that. I'm very excited about it. Um, I'm curious about the application process. It's my understanding that your application is open right now as we speak.
Hmm.
It's open as we speak. Guys, please apply. I think I started with in the beginning, but I really and truly I believe in the power of just applying because you have no idea what's going to happen. And the only way to find out is if you actually throw your hat in the ring. So that starts with actually submitting the application. So please, please, please apply. From each of your journeys, I'm curious about for the P1 or the P2 that's watching, what is some advice that you would have to offer someone who's very early in their pharmacy careers about what they need to do, or perhaps what you want to encourage them to be mindful of as they navigate what they're going to do next, just based on what you've seen and what your experiences were? Lauren, you want to go first?
Yeah, I would say just to explore as many different options as you have the opportunity to, even if it's something that you think doesn't sound interesting to you. Because as a P1, if you would have told me I wasn't going to be interacting with patients, I probably would have thought that I wouldn't enjoy that, but I really love where I'm at. And so, even if it sounds miserable to you and you have a day to explore it and see what it's actually like, just give it a shot. You never know.
Yeah, I like that. Stay open. Stay open. Say yes often. Esther?
I would say take advantage of the opportunities with connecting with your preceptors, even IPPE preceptors, because you just never know when you're going to need someone to write a recommendation or if you're going to want advice or even where you're going to end up. Pharmacy is very small. So just making sure you're taking advantage of those relationships and building relationships, I think is very, very important.
Absolutely. Build bridges everywhere you go. You don't know where you're headed yet. So it's important to just have bridges everywhere you go so that when it's time to travel, you're like, oh, there's that bridge. I'm going to take that one. So just build them all over the place. Yes, Anish?
Yeah, very similar to what both of them said. You never know what's going to happen in the future. And unfortunately, I hate to be the one to say it, but yes, pharmacy is such a small world, right? I keep meeting people or seeing people that I've connected with like months ago or years ago coming up now in my life. So definitely don't burn any bridges. But towards what Lauren was saying, I'd say also like create like a wide portfolio of experiences.
Yeah.
So even if they are things that maybe you're not really into, let's say it's crit care, or let's say it's internal med, whatever it may be, right? Just develop it. You'll have one good talking point from each of those experiences for sure. And so really and that's how you'll kind of work through your interviews and work through any conversations and networking in the future. So I say develop a portfolio, but also be careful about how many times you say yes, right? Because as a student, right, remember your goal, you want to get through the doors, right? You gotta pass and get the PharmD. You
Yes.
can't get crushed. So remember the goal, but also remember to just at least try to get something new, something under your belt that's new and fresh.
Absolutely. Such great advice. There's so much packed in there that's useful. Um, I really wanted to ask each of you, and I think this just occurred to me today, that there is something you guys are a very, I don't know if this was intentional and how you guys scheduled it, but I was just like, they're very different in like their functional areas. So for you, Lauren, right? Like, what are some things that students can do to support, like you're publishing the student pharmacist, right? Like, I remember submitting my first article for that magazine and being terrified that it was going to get rejected. It turned out to be like one of the most amazing experiences I had as a student pharmacist because of how supportive Tom was in guiding me through that entire process. Every time I tell students we could publish this, you could see like the color drain from their faces, like publish it for people to see it, like that's usually what publishing means. We want others to see it. So I just, from your angle as a person who's there now, what are some things that you are able to talk to students about and encouraging them to submit their work, and what, and the importance of why um, the magazine is such a great place to do that?
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, I'll say this: Tom is the best. Like, pretty much any process seemed not near as scary as it would otherwise.
Yeah.
I think that the Student Pharmacist magazine is a great way to get started. No matter what area of pharmacy you go into, I feel like publishing papers or some form of research is almost always involved on at least some level. You're always trying to find a way to be innovative. And then if something's innovative, you can publish it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very, I know it does seem intimidating, but it's a great opportunity to get a head start above other student pharmacists and above your peers at practicing that skill earlier on in your career. And it's for student pharmacists. So the whole process is designed to help you fine tune those skills, and they expect to meet you where you're at. So
Yeah.
that's very helpful.
Very, very true. I can, like I said, I can attest to this. I was scared to submit it for the longest, and it was just like one of the best decisions I made. I learned so much just from the editing process and working with Tom. Esther, the APHA Foundation, how do we support? How do we keep like such a wonderful arm of APHA up and visible and running, and having people more aware about all of the amazing work that you all doing over there?
I think one thing I will say is just applying for the program. So we do have programs that are geared towards student pharmacists, such as the student scholarship program and incentive grants. And so I know incentive grants is closed for the year, but in the future, if you have a community-based project that you would like a grant for, just putting in the application, because like you said, you never know what will happen, or just applying for the student scholarship, because student scholarships right now are open until December 1st. So, disclaimer, if anyone is on this call and would like to apply for an APHA Foundation student scholarship, they are open until December 1st. But I think we've made a big push towards just kind of putting things out there for student pharmacists to be able to take advantage of. So, just apply, because all the work that I do is pretty much geared towards student pharmacists for the most part. So I think that would be great just to kind of support us, but also you benefit in return. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so apply. We're back to this whole applying thing. I think I'm making a shirt. Apply. The foundation scholarships, I didn't know about it. A mentor told me about it, and the more research I did, again, intimidated I was. Um, but again, I had that support in my school where everybody was just like, apply, what happens? You don't get it. I was like, yeah, you're right. I don't pay to apply or anything, so I don't get it. And I'll learn something about myself in the process. I really, really, really want to encourage you to consider applying, consider looking up the foundation and learning more about it, and really, really just like connect with Esther and let her tell you about all the cool things she's doing. You may be surprised about what you learn in the process. Um, Anish, listen, BPS, when I was a student pharmacist,
Mhm.
there were what, four exams? And then
Yeah.
something happened in the last few years that I am
Mhm.
so loving is the growth, the exponential growth that has happened over there in helping pharmacists pick a niche and really, really just set that bar and be ambitious enough to say, I want to be credentialed in this and it's available. It
Mhm.
wasn't like when I was a student and they kept saying it's coming, but now to actually see that it's here. So I just wanted you to talk a little bit about some of the things that are there and based on what you've learned about board certification so far, why you should encourage up and coming student pharmacists to aspire to credentialing and the fact that this is for the future of how we want to be seen and represented.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like, I feel like I don't remember learning about this many specialties until I started here. I believe we have 14 new specialties now, and which is amazing. And it's also the fact that it's not just a national thing now; it's a global-wide phenomenon, right? We
Yeah,
have folks from Australia and Egypt all thinking or all understanding that this board certification exam is the highest echelon or something that sets themselves apart when if they're trying to come to America or even just practice in their countries.
yeah,
So I guess when it comes to student pharmacists looking to get board certification, I think you have to consider a lot of different things, right? Biggest thing is right, what value does it give me, right? Like what value do I put on it?
yeah,
Of course, the board certification comes with the value, which is you have a credential, right? You are BCCP or BCCCP, whatever, what have you, right? And then so doctors, nurses, people will know what you are, right? But apart from that, right, what value do you get from it? You get to know that you got that degree and you earned that credential. And I
yeah,
think that's another thing that people should consider as they're thinking about board certification. In a perfect world, I would believe a lot of student pharmacists and residents, for that matter, would go for the board certification because it's a straight shot, right? But of
yeah.
course, it's not that easy, right? It's definitely a very tough exam, but I think if you've studied for it and you've worked in that area, you should definitely go for it.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. And that's why I was like, this was a different setup because
Mhm.
each of you have all of these things in your functional areas that go beyond just landing the residency, but also promoting the profession in like a really unique way and helping students realize like this is a whole thing that exists out here and it's here for you to help you along the way in your process, your growth and development. I cannot thank you all enough. Some comments is because Andrew's been engaging really well with us this evening. I think something is telling me to go to APHA because this is the second time within a week I have met them. They were at UMES last week. Go APHA. Okay, so you guys were at the university, or some of your co-residents must have been at or someone from APHA was at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore last week. So thank you, Andrew, for joining us. And Andrew, apply, apply, apply. Don't make me like come look for you and ask you every day, did you apply? Thank you, Esther, Lauren, Anish. It's such a pleasure. And I really appreciate you guys like taking the time out of your schedule. You're not here because like you don't have anything to do. I know you're all super busy. I'm so grateful. With that, everyone, thank you and have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Sally.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Bye.